Down in the Den, so go tell a friend. The best podcast on earth's about to begin. We got jokes and news and movie reviews. After Dark NC-17 with the crew. Interviews with the best artists around. So like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now. Let's go. Like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now. Welcome to Down in the Den. It's your boy Marz, and joining me right here in the den, none other than singer, songwriter, Torre Blake. Torre, welcome to the den. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you. How are you?
I am awesome. I'm awesome that I'm talking to you. I have been listening to your project nonstop in preparation. You're super
Keep doing
talented.
it.
Yeah, absolutely. The spins are in rotation. One thing that we always do, my dad, he is the reason that I'm in love with music. He used to grab records from Vietnam and bring them home. So when I was a little boy growing up, he would pull out this album and say, "What is this?" And I'm like, "Stevie Wonder, this 1978." So it just really made me in love with music. And when I sent him your music, he was like, "Oh yeah, she's talented. Make sure you get on the show." So not only will you get the D.E.N stamp, but you get the Craig stamp because my father thinks you're super talented.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Now, I'm a big nerd. You can probably tell by the Stan Lee shirt and the weird background, but I grew up loving comic books, loving superheroes and things of that nature. And I always say every hero, every villain has an origin story. They have something that made them who they are. What is Torre Blake's origin story? How did you become from your mild mannered young singer to the artist that you are today?
Yeah, well, actually, my story is very different. I grew up in an athletic household. So my dad played in the NFL for 14 years. My uncle played. My brother played for Auburn when Cam Newton was there. And he went off to the NFL. I have a cousin who's in the NFL. It's just, we're from Texas. We're a football family. That's what it is. And I kind of, well, I started out in gymnastics, and then I started getting into volleyball because volleyball is really big in Texas as well. And I'd always had a love for sports, but singing has always been there. Ever since I was little, I would always be singing to the point where my mom would be like, can you stop, please? I need a break." Um, and even when I was a baby, like I started humming before I started talking. And music has always just kind of been there. Grew up in the church, was the only 12-year-old in the adult choir. Um, and I just, there's something that I loved about it. I just thought it was beautiful, and I was always gravitated towards music. My dad's a big neo soul guy, so grew up listening to, Music Soul Child, Lauryn Hill, um, Anthony Hamilton,
The greats, the
um,
icons, absolutely.
the greats, Flowetry. Like I have memories of being in my dad's car, him picking me up from gymnastics, and just all neo soul was on rotation. Um, so yeah, and I played volleyball in college. Didn't really start tapping into writing till I was done with college, 2016. And just volleyball took up a lot of time. I got my school paid for. Wanted to be a musical theater major, kind of didn't work out with volleyball and just like scheduling and stuff like that. So for me, that was a bummer, but I just tried to make the most of it, and learned a lot as a human being, um, being a teammate, working with people that I didn't really want to work with, pushing through moments. There's a lot that you learn, um, just in those times in college. It was very pivotal for me. I don't think I was ready for the music world, anyways. Um, so definitely a late bloomer. Nothing wrong with that. Just pushing really right now, and writing as much as I can, and doing a lot of back end stuff. So yeah.
Trust me, you're not a late bloomer. You're talking to the latest of bloomers who lived a whole entire life before I started fulfilling that passion and the
Yeah.
purpose. So there's no time. I always say it doesn't matter if you start at 5 or 55. We all can't be little Michael singing at the club at 5 years old.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to, people don't realize Bernie Mac became a star at 40 years old. So
Mhm.
there's always time to do what you want as long as you put that energy and that passion in. And you definitely have the skill set, you definitely have the passion, the ability. So I know for a fact that the sky is the limit. Now, for me,
Oh,
the
thank
first
you.
musician that you're welcome, the first musician that I can remember that really just changed my life was Michael Jackson. I can literally remember, I think Thriller came out in '83. So I was 3 years old. I don't remember if I could talk, but I remember singing Beat It. I can remember that vividly. So it was an artist that stuck in my head. And
Mhm.
I just loved everything about Michael. Was there an artist for you? I know you mentioned the Floetry. Marsha Ambrose is great. You mentioned Music Soul Child. I've seen him in concert multiple
Mhm.
times. Fantastic. Having that music in the house is always great. But was there one particular artist for you that you can remember that kind of triggered something and made you feel something emotionally when it comes to music?
Yeah, I would definitely say Lauryn Hill. Um, I think she like, when you were talking about that, she was the first person who popped into my mind, especially, like, I was obsessed with Sister Act, I feel like that's, like, the scene, when, she's singing, and it's just, like, I feel like that really turned something on in me for sure. Lauryn Hill, yeah.
Shout out to Miss Lauren Hill. She is literally, uh, I remember that album very well, 1998. It was my senior year in high school. And I remember
Mhm.
it changed everything. I went from the baggy pants to wanting to be, I started dressing like Common. It changed everything in me. So, yes, great,
Yeah, I think the unplugged, like MTV, like I remember just like watching that on repeat, and I had the CD, and I would listen to it all the time in the car, and I was obsessed just with the rawness, just the performance in general of just how she was just being honest, like, yo, my voice is killing me, but we're here. You know what I mean? Like, and it just being like so natural, and I don't know, like everything about it was just beautiful to me. So
well, music is an exchange of energy. And I always tell people it doesn't really matter if you have a 5 octave voice if you can't make people feel something. It doesn't matter.
yeah.
And that's the thing with Lauren Hill. She may not have the Mariah Carey range. It doesn't matter. I guarantee
Mhm.
you're going to feel something when you hear her. And so,
Yeah.
absolutely, she's definitely an icon. I'm so glad that she's getting her flowers right now. So many artists that I speak with, especially female artists, when I ask them who's that influence or who's that person, they say Lauren Hill. So for a person my age who grew up when she started out, it's so interesting
Mhm.
to see someone literally before my eyes become an icon. So that is awesome. Now your
Yeah.
R&B, your pop, your everything. Your voice is fantastic. I really love some of your covers that you have on YouTube that's doing numbers right now. I love them. What would you describe your musical stylings? What would you say? I'm a piece of. I always say artists, they may have a piece of this and a piece of that, and then they mold it to become their own. How would you describe your musical stylings?
Yeah, I definitely feel like I have some soul, have some of that R&B flair, like you said, but there's definitely pop nuances. I was even just listening to some artists that I'm like really into right now, and I'm like, I'm on a completely different wave, and like that's totally cool. But I was just kind of like, oh, they're super like R&B, have that like London like like vibiness, and I have more of a pop influence, and I think maybe it's because of just like the people around me, and my boyfriend. We do music together. Everything I've put out has been with him. He's a producer. He's amazing, and I think that I don't know. It's just something that I gravitate towards, and just kind of like fusing. different sounds. And it, like you said, it's all about what feels good. It's not really about staying within this like box. It just is a matter of like also seasons. Like I'm in this like weird mode. I don't know, like maybe the next thing I put out will be, slightly different. And yeah, that's kind of where my head's at right now.
And that's so great that you said that because I think all the greatest artists they evolve. If you listen to their first album and their last album, it's not the same. If it
Mhm.
is, you failed. You failed as a person. If you're the same person at 15, at 50, you failed because there should be some type of growth, some type of change, your influence change. People always joke because I grew up very urban environment, went to a HBCU, and if you took my
Mhm.
Discman at the time, not a phone because they didn't have music in the '90s and early 2000s on your phone. But if you took my Discman, someone would be like, "Is that the Backstreet Boys?" I'm like, "Damn it, they're great. I love the Backstreet Boys. I don't care." I may also have Ice Cube in our other studio where we have performances
Yeah.
sometime. I have a huge poster of NWA and a huge poster of Johnny Cash. And I always tell people like this, if you want to know who I am, I'm all of this. I love all of this. Now,
Mhm.
your recent EP, Love is Real, available everywhere music is streamed. It is fantastic. I've had it on repeat. We talked a little bit before we went on. I've had it on
Mhm.
repeat. And you mentioned that all of your music has been with your boyfriend. Walk me through the
Mhm.
creation of that project because it's really to believe that's your first project. I am surprised. I'm very surprised because you sound very seasoned. Walk us through the
Thank you.
creation of that project. I always say making something is almost like giving birth. What was that like for you?
Yeah, so really the whole entire EP is kind of like a modge podge of like the past 2.5 years. Um, Pipe Dream, I probably wrote like a year ago, year and a half ago. The one I probably wrote 2.5 years ago. Um, I Like It is the most recent song that I wrote for the project. And Topo as well, that's a new one. All Right, and then Fell Off is a little older. And it was kind of like for this specific project, I wanted to put something out that felt cohesive, but also showed different sides of me, um, and had different elements to it. I didn't want it to feel like it was like one note. I wanted it to feel like you're going like up and down, and I wanted the ending to feel like really sweet and light and end on this like beautiful note. Um, but yeah, what's cool is my partner, he's a musician, he's a crazy guitar player, super talented producer, and all of our friends play. So it's like, hey, Nate, will you come play keys? Hey, we hear, this sort of drum pattern on this. Let's get Mike in here. Like it's really cool. Like you said, it's a collaborative effort. It takes a village of people to make something like this happen. And uh, my brother is he's a big part of the creative and visual aspect of it all, and he is the one who helped me come up with the EP name because I was just struggling because I was like, it's just like me but different sides of me, and I just want everyone to feel all these different things, and then the core root of the EP is like love is real. It took so much love from everyone around me to make this happen, and like I feel that in this. um but yeah, it was just a collaborative effort over the years of just like piecing things together. I had a completely different EP lineup like a year and a half ago, and I was like, I'm taking this song out, I'm putting this song in. Like it was just like kind of like a puzzle for me. And I know a lot of people, I this was my first EP. A lot of people work differently. Some people, start off with this concept, and they have a concept, and then from there they start creating. And for me, it was like I already had the music. It was just a matter of like, what do I want it? How do I want it to flow? Do I want to keep this here? Do I want to, let's add something new? It was just, a constant shifting around and piecing things together, and then it kind of just came to be. So yeah.
That is awesome. One of my favorite Bruce Lee quotes is "Be like water." If water's in a bottle, it's in the shape of the bottle. If water is in a cup, it's in the shape of a cup. So that
Hmm.
flexibility to have that structure, but have that flexibility, I think that's when the best creativity comes because you leave room for a better idea. You don't have to be set
Yeah.
in stone. The best creatives listen to the people around them, the people they respect. So I think your mission accomplished. Your goal to show those sides, mission accomplished. So congratulations on that. Now, do
Thank
you have
you.
a favorite? You're more than welcome. Do you have a favorite track on that EP? Is it a one that yeah,
Oh
you don't have
man.
to answer that because I know it's like choosing your favorite kid. It's almost
Yeah, they're all my
disrespectful,
babies. It
but
is.
but we all know if you have more than
Uh,
one sibling, there's a favorite sibling. So, is there a track?
I don't I don't think so because like I said, they're all so different from each other, but they all flow. Pipe Dream has, like that Rihanna Desperado vibes. And then the one is kind of like that trappy. Like I could see like hip hop dancers like feeling that. You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely.
and then yeah, I like it is that dancey kind of, inspired by Anderson Paak like vibes, and Kaytranada vibes. And yeah, and then Topo, I literally was just dancing in my kitchen and being stupid and goofy, and I wrote that song. And I remember my partner was like, "This is not it," and I was like, "It is it." I love it, and it's me, and it's just fun. And I feel like there's a lot of artists who are just like Tierra Whack, Doja Cat, of just like, dude, this is what it is, and I'm just flowing with it. This is like I love that the even Tyler the Creator just like he just says like off the wall shit, and I just love it because it's him and he's goofy and he's silly, and I have that side to me too, and I felt like that shows through in Topo. And then Fell Off, I'm just like I love that song as well because I am not a social media person, and like it can be heavy, just seeing and comparing yourself, and you have to like, there's limits with that of having like balance in this world of social media, and um, there have been times where I've struggled with that, and that's kind of like the song that I love because it's like I fell off, and I'm not gonna be like I'm gonna post when I want to post, like I'm gonna be on there like when I need to be because it can be a lot. And then for All Right, it's I wrote that during COVID. I was just feeling like in this place of feeling really down, and I wanted to, I basically wrote the song for myself of, like it's gonna be all right. Like just I wanted a song that was uplifting, and first I had that song like the second song of the EP, and it just didn't feel right to me. I wanted the project to end with that, to end with this uplifting, sweet note. Um, so I love all of them. That's the answer to that question.
That's a fair answer. You gave me such a good explanation that we can slide. That works. That works
Yeah, I'm
absolutely.
sorry. I just
No,
can't.
no, it is fair because you know what? You're absolutely right. And I love how you had the cognitive ability to say, you know what, let's end this uplifting because it's been rough. We hear about mental health so much now the last
Yeah.
18, 19, 20 months with the whole world seeming like it's shaping into something different. So I love that you were just wise enough to put that positive energy at the end of your album. So that's super awesome. Now, you're super dope as I mentioned. I've seen some fantastic performances. What do you prefer more, creating or actually going out there and performing it? Which one sparks you a little better,
Mm.
or are they the same?
I feel like they're about the same for sure. There's something about um, being in front of an audience, and I've learned a lot like super blessed to have a partner who's really talented in with his instrument because he's my music director as well. He builds out all my shows. Um, and he builds out shows for a lot of artists here in Austin, but just having like a live show that's killer, that's something that he's always, you know, been about and we've talked about and like how do we make the show better? How do we make the transitions better? And he jokes with me all the time. He's like, "You haven't had that like that time of like working with people who don't know what they're doing and like not having the best show." And I'm like, I mean, obviously there's still growth that needs to be had, but like I am really lucky in that my show has like a professional, just like feel to it already. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate it. Um, but there's something about being with the band and being on stage and jamming out and feeling that energy and also connecting with people. Um, because you don't connect with people when you're by yourself and you're writing or I mean, sometimes if you have co-writers come in too, I mean, that's cool and you can connect with them. But there's something about connecting with people on that emotional level in person, especially, with the pandemic happening, it really made me realize how much I missed performing. And I don't feel like you can connect with people um, on a personal level like any other way. Because I mean, social media, you can only do so much, but it's like when people, see you and like can hear you and like vibe with what you're saying and like really feel the music, that's like a completely different thing that you can't replicate in any other form. So, um, and then when it comes to creating and writing, um, yeah, I feel like those are, you can't compare them because there's something so beautiful about that as well. Um, and being around people and who you connect with creatively and it when it just flows so naturally, like I mean there are times where I mean like songs take a while to come together depending on what you're writing or whatever, if you have writer's block, which tends to happen, or if there's those moments where you just literally you're like, wow, I wrote a song in 30 minutes and it feels really good and it just like that's how I like it was for me. Like fell off was so rough. I had like three different verses. Like it was just a complete mess. And it took me a while to like figure out like what do I want and how do I want this to flow. So there's some songs where they need more work. But there's something about creating that I love. And just being by myself. I'm kind of a homebody. I was homeschooled through the fifth grade, and I think that's my like introvert vibes coming out of like, yeah, I'll go out, but I am going to stay home. You know what I mean? Like
Oh
type
yeah,
thing. Like that's
all of
totally
my
me.
friends have given up.
Yeah, I'm in between. I'm definitely in between. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, I love them both equally.
Shout out Team Introvert. That's the whole den
Ah!
started because I was like, you guys can come over. I'm not coming out, but you're more than welcome to come over. I have a
Yeah,
refrigerator here. I have a recording studio, whatever you want to do. So that's awesome. Awesome. Now,
yeah.
how is it? Because right now, and maybe it's just my observation because I'm in there and I'm talking to artists and everything, but it seems to me the Austin, Texas music scene is bubbling like none other. We always hear about
Yeah.
New York and we hear about California and we hear about Atlanta and Chicago and all these cities, but to me, some of the most authentic, talented artists are coming out of the Austin, Texas music scene. How has that been for
Mhm.
you being because it's a very competitive market, but it's also it seems like it's a lot of love. I see a lot of collaborations, as we mentioned
Mhm.
earlier. I see a lot of if this person from Texas posting this person from Texas and they're just showing it. How has that Austin, Texas music scene been for you?
Yeah, I would say over the past couple of years, I've definitely seen a lot of growth, which has been really cool. A lot of people like moving here who I've had the chance to connect with. Um, and I feel, I grew up in Austin. Uh, so I feel like I have a different take on it because I was here when like it felt, they would say the Austin live music capital of the world, but I'm like, all I hear is Indian country. Like for me growing up, it's like Indian country. You're walking down the street, Indian country. And I mean, I didn't really hear hip hop. I didn't really hear R&B. Austin is it's a very white city. Um, and it's definitely become way more diverse. There's way more color here. Um, and just kind of tapping into that R&B lane. It's a very small community of people. Not even necessarily R&B, but just like black artists in general here. It's like we all know each other. We all like, support each other. Sometimes like really support, or even if it's just from afar, like, hey, I see what you're doing. And it's like all love, which is awesome to have a community of artists who just care genuinely. And actually, this past during COVID, we started a collective called the Black Austin Musicians Collective. You can follow us on Instagram as well, where we just want to highlight our community. And one of the things we're trying to do is bring in, policy and reform when it comes to our local government as well and what affects us as a community, and to keep everyone informed, but also highlight people in our community who are doing amazing things creatively. And yeah, so it's kind of it's been great. It's been great. I feel really lucky. I feel like Austin's a great place to learn yourself as an artist and to grow. LA, New York, Atlanta, it's really cutthroat. And if you just want a place where you can like find yourself and not feel judged, like you can play anywhere here. You know what I mean? New York and LA, it's kind of tough to play where you want to play. And they don't really give opportunities because it's super saturated. Um, and I feel like Austin, it's just they love music and you can grow a lot here from a live music perspective, um, and also just in your own art. Um, yeah, so it's been great for me.
Shout out to Austin. I'll be there in 2022. I'll be linking with some of the great artists that we've had. So love the city, love what it's doing, love the vibe. You guys' mission statement is similar to mine, so that's awesome. So
Hmm.
we're almost done, but before we're
Okay.
done, you have to earn your Den mate stamp. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
This is going to be official. Once you're in, it's gang gang for life. You get that stamp.
Okay.
So we're going to play a couple of games. You get
All
a
right.
passing score, you're official. So the first game that we play is called That, This, or I Plead the Fifth. So we're going to give you some choices. It's very
Oh,
simple. So for example, I could say sweet potato pie or apple pie. Say I
ooh,
love apple. But if you don't want to answer, you have to say I plead the fifth.
plead the fifth. Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So the first one may be simple, may not be. Aaliyah or Beyonce?
I plead the fifth.
R&B or pop?
R&B.
Fame or money?
Ugh. I don't like either of those.
Or you can say neither. We'll give you an extra round. We can say
Neither.
neither. All
Yeah.
right. Love or power?
Love.
Perfect. Perfect. That's a perfect score. So now, part two of your Den mate stamp. Have you ever played Song Association?
Mm-mm. Oh God.
Okay, so this is very simple. We have 3 rounds. The rules are easy. I'm going to give you a
All right.
word. For example, if the word was star, you have 10 seconds to think of a song with the word in either the lyric or the title. So,
Oh,
if you,
okay, okay, okay.
so it's very simple, fun game. The thing is, there's only 3. So if you miss one, that's a 66%. You miss 2, you fail. but I have
Okay.
confidence in you. Are you ready?
Okay. All right.
I've
Let's
had a
see.
lot of people sweating on this, but
I
I have
know. I
faith in you.
feel like I'm starting to get a little hot because I'm the type of person that would just like blank, and I'll be like, but
That's
okay,
the fun part. It makes great
okay,
content. Win or lose, it makes
yes,
great content.
okay,
All right. So the
okay.
first word, let me synchronize my Apple Watch. Hey Siri, give me 12 seconds. The first word is real.
12 seconds. Counting down.
REAL. And it
I
can be
mean,
one of your own songs.
I have a song called "Real Thing."
There you go. Let's give
Guess
us a
it's a
little
real
piece.
thing. Guess it's a real thing. No, it's a real thing. Tripping for real seems like.
Beautiful. And in time. So that's 1 point. We're almost
Okay.
there. We're almost there.
Okay.
The second word is tell. TELL.
Tell. Tell.
I've uh,
I feel like there has to be a song called like "Tell Me" or something. Is that "Tell Me What You Want"?
there you go. That's one.
Tell
That works.
me what you need.
True Hill. Absolutely.
Yeah.
There you go. We would
Okay.
also accept it. Tell Me What You Want, Me Too by forgot the excellent band. Tell me what you want me to. I can't remember
Oh.
the
Oh yeah
band.
yeah yeah yeah.
Groove
I
Theory.
got you.
Groove Theory. Shout
Yeah
out to
yeah yeah
Groove Theory.
yeah.
So that works.
Is that Drew Hill song called "Tell Me"?
It is called Tell Me.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
I
I think
didn't
that was
know if
their
that
first
was, you
single.
know, how some people will like have a hook that, repeats, but the song will be completely the title of the song will be completely different.
Fallout
So I just
Boy is infamous, and Panic at the Disco infamous for having these long titles that are nowhere in the song. You're like, where the hell did you
yeah.
come from? Sounds like they were just reading the ingredients off of a noodle bag or something, like monosodium glutamate. This is a love song. Interesting. All right. So the final word. You're already at a
All right.
passing score. You're already
Okay.
official. But the final word is lost. LOST. Lost.
Oh, Lost by Frank Ocean.
There you go.
Lost, lost in the heat of it all. Hey,
3 for 3.
girl, you know you're
100%.
lost. Yes,
So that
I'm so
breaks
type
it.
A. I love hundreds.
There you go, 100%. We would also would have accepted Lauren Hill. You just lost one. That would have worked as well.
Oh
So there
yeah.
you go. So Tori, this has been a blast talking about your art, your passion. I know that you're going to be nothing but successful. You've got your den mate stamp. It's official. And with that comes all the benefits of being a den mate, which are we'll send you some merch, which is always cool.
Oh,
You'll
dope.
always be promoted. It's a family. The Den Mates are family. It's just a collective of excellent artists. So we'll always be promoting you. Whatever you got uh, going on, we've got you covered here in the Den. You have a family here, but you've also earned the floor. So please tell the Den Mates where they can find you, what you got going on, uh, any new projects you want to share. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Yeah, my name is Torre Blake. Follow me on all the things, Twitter, Instagram. Actually, just Instagram because I'm really just on there. And YouTube as well because I have some really cool live video content. But yeah, I am planning on releasing I Like It featuring an artist here from Austin called Magna Carta. And so I'll be releasing that actually next week. So be on the lookout for that. And I hopefully will be releasing another single in the fall, but we will see. So I'll keep y'all
Awesome.
posted.
We'll love to have you back on when those are ready to come out. We'll put all your information. It'll be over my face and all up here and there once this goes in the post.
Yes.
So we'll put all your information in there. We are
Yeah.
so
Oh,
yes,
can I say one more thing? Oh, follow
absolutely.
me, please, on Spotify. And if you are interested in like really supporting and seeing some like behind the scenes stuff, you can follow me and support me on Patreon. It's like a monthly subscription. Everything that I earn from Patreon, it goes straight back into my music, whether it be, mixing, mastering fees, all the things, because there's so many things that need to be paid for.
Yes,
But yeah, so I just wanted to plug those few things before I forget.
absolutely. Those are the most important. So please follow the Patreon. Follow the YouTube, stream it, put on the album, listen to it, go to sleep, let it play while you're sleeping, run those numbers up. It's absolutely marvelous. You have a great
Thank
talent.
you.
Shout out to your team. They've done a great job in helping you with these projects. Shout out to the Austin, Texas music community. You guys, I support you guys, and you guys have been supporting the Den since day one. So it's always love there. And as always, it's your boy Marz. It's your girl always point the wrong way, and I did it again. The Zoom every time. I'm like, sometimes people are up. I'll scratch that out and edit. Shout out to Torre Blake for joining us here. And I did it again. Damn it! Here on the Den. It's been another fantastic episode. I had a blast. Did you have a good time?
I had a great time. It was awesome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. We support you. You rock. Can't wait till your new projects. And as always, guys, like, comment, subscribe, put those notifications on because we have content coming every single week, sometimes 3 or 4 times a week. We're hammering you guys with content. Please follow Torre. Please go to the Patreon. Please run those streams because the only way you're going to get more is if you support. So please support. And as always, it's your boy Marz. Deuces. So like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now. Let's go. Like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now.